Draft lottery happened. The Wizards won. Finally,
Hooray!
finally. Washington. It's fun too. We last week we had a draft of teams who are eliminated from the playoffs by the end of round one, 22 teams. Who would we want to be going forward? And you and I both were thinking about the Wizards pretty high, but I think they went in like the number eight range somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
we are like so much depends on this upcoming draft for them, the Jazz, the Kings, the Nets, and what happened with the lottery. And man, Washington just flew up that list.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for him. Mainly because I actually think Washington has something. I'm not sure what that is, but it's something. And that's
Good
probably the
direction.
first. Yeah, and this is the first time in I don't know how many years I felt that way about Washington.
Yeah, since like 2017, like the John Wall, Gortat, Morris, Bradley Beal team, like there's
Yep.
actual direction in Washington now. And now you've got the number one pick. Um, They had to sacrifice a Bam 83-point game in order to get it, but they got it.
Worth it.
It's worth it 100%. And I'm happy for Washington fans. I really would love to see them finally be good. I would also love to see a rebrand. I think this is a perfect opportunity to kind of change their look and go a different direction in their branding because right now I don't think many people really rock with their current one. But that's super exciting for them.
Is Washington one of the only fan bases that's not really hated by anybody?
Yeah, what's to hate?
Is it kind of like the Chicago Cubs where you don't really hate them because they don't win ever?
I think some people hate the Cubs just because of the fans.
I feel like that was directed at me the way you said that.
No, I don't have a single stake when it comes to baseball.
I just don't like the way you said the fans. The end made it seem like you.
I think a lot of people view, from what I know from baseball fans I talk to, view Cubs fans as like that annoying, like younger sibling almost like, all right, we get it. Y'all have been good occasionally. Like y'all want to be really good so bad.
We do. We just want to be good.
And that's every Cubs fan I ever met has always just been like, but we want to be good so bad.
But we do.
It's
We
kind of
really do.
it's kind of sad. It's a little sad. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that like it's actually just a little sad.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Um, Outside of the Wizards, what pick are you most excited for?
I really just want to see who falls to the Bulls. This is their opportunity to really turn around. They have new management. I don't know the new manager's name. I'll have to remember that. But I saw he was asked about it by the press afterwards, and he said, "Let's not act like now that we have the number four pick that we've turned this franchise around. Like we still have a ton of work to do." And that to me, when I heard that, I was like, "Hell yeah!" And I don't know if you've ever seen him talk. This was actually my first exposure to him. Hearing him talk, it sounded like you just heard like one of your homies talking, like just a friend. He was just very like, man, it's crazy. I just got this job. I got a number four pick. Like he's just very casual about it. He's like, but we have a ton of work to do.
Sick.
So there's a nice balance of, I think people in Chicago can begin to trust him. Whereas before, with their other management, it was very like, we know better. Like we're going to be super cheap and we're not going to give the fans anything that they want, but we're going to know better and we're going to talk to them like we know we're smarter than the fans. And this guy's just a guy. And I
I'm
think
gonna say with Chicago's history, especially the Bulls of management, I don't trust any of them until they bring you something.
yeah. And I think he understands that.
And that's good.
Yeah,
That's
which
important.
he doesn't have like the entitlement of like this is my title, so you're gonna have to respect who I am. He's just very like, yeah, we have more work to do. Let's not act like we didn't accomplish anything. We looked into this. But the Jazz at number two is extremely interesting to me. There's already, as soon as this happened, I started thinking the Jazz are going to try to get that number one pick because they want AJ. This is their one opportunity to have a superstar. I should say potential superstar, but I think he's almost definitely kind of surefire superstar who wants to be in Utah. Like that does not happen. You have to go all in. What do you want, Washington? You name it.
Did he play high school ball in Utah too?
Think
Is he
so.
is he from Utah?
I don't know if he's from Utah or went there strictly for basketball.
Hmm. I always thought that was interesting because you don't never hear of a guy wanting to play for Utah,
And the
much
Wizards
less.
have already said that they're open to trading back, which if I'm a Wizards fan, I'd be like, what? I would be so like, let's not do this. Let's not overthink it. Who cares what they want? Let's just do us.
If I'm Washington and with Utah sitting at 2, and I'm not sold on AJ for whatever reason, if I'm bigger on Peterson or Acuff maybe or somebody else, you know, no, the kid from UNC who I'm going to mess up his name, maybe him, maybe he goes one, but I doubt it. But if you're, let's say if you're Washington and you're higher on Peterson than AJ, why not? I mean, you can just tell him like, hey, we're going to draft Peterson. You guys can have AJ. No one has to trade anything. Don't worry about it. And then you take AJ anyway, because you know what? Fuck Utah.
I'd be
Fuck.
just a random Wizards Jazz beef would be awesome.
I would love it, dude. I'm here for it. They stole my team's team name.
Yeah, if they're set on getting Peterson, which honestly makes a ton of sense for the Wizards, and Peterson's camp has said that he wants to be on a team like the Wizards or the Nets or the Kings who don't have the history attached to them. He wants to be the guy to provide them the history, which is just great. We'll talk about Peterson more here in a bit, but if you're dead set on we want Peterson, that's where our scouts say is going to be the guy. Yeah, trade back and give me next year's pick and a potential young guy, and you get DeBonsa. But in conversations, you have to say we're taking DeBonsa unless you do this deal,
Yeah.
and you
It'll
have
be
to edit
interesting.
out how much you love Peterson.
The also question is if you're Washington, like, what kind of pick do you get in next year's draft for the number one pick? You're only moving back one spot. Like, you're not moving back 5 spots or 6 spots. You're moving back one spot,
The
right?
Jazz will overpay to get DeBonsa. They
You
are the
think
team
so?
that's in position to say, "Hey, we know we're just moving up one spot, but name it."
You think they would take like a this year's number two and next year's first round pick from Utah?
I think the asking price might be higher than that.
Like more draft picks?
I think so. Because if there is, I don't think the Grizzlies or the Bulls would go all in on that. I think both of them are like, hey, we're happy to get the guy we're going to get, and we think we're going to be better. But the Jazz, DeBonce's their guy. They're not going to have another chance, maybe ever, to get a guy who wants to be in Utah and be able to draft him. This is their one opportunity. It will be named the price. You want Keontae George? Okay. I could 100% see them do that.
I don't even think they should take another wing. They already got two there. They're good. No
Yeah,
sense in
and the
keeping
Wizards
Dillon.
probably don't even want other players. Like, just okay, give me some assets. Give me a couple. Give me the number two pick and the next two first round picks that you have. And
The next two first round picks? There's no way I'm taking that if I'm Utah though.
I think you
How,
have to. I
how would you
would.
sit back at two? Why? You're gonna mortgage your entire team's future on one guy.
Yes, AJ DeBonsa. Yes, the guy who wants to be. And look, you're talking to the biggest Darren Peterson fan in the state.
My
But
thing is
the
you better
Utah
be
Jazz
right.
will do it.
You better be right then.
It's AJ
Like
DeBonsa.
he better be everything we think AJ DeBonza is.
Even if
Somebody
even if
posted
Peterson
highlights.
ends up becoming a better player than DeBonsa, if you're the Jazz, you want DeBonsa because he wants to be there, and you're never going to get that again. What were you going to say?
You don't know that. You do know that. Okay, that's fair. There
I
might be
think it's
some.
a safe bet.
Yeah, it's a safe bet.
Yeah,
It's probably like 1,000,000 to 1, probably more.
yeah. What were you going to say? You saw somebody post?
I saw somebody post AJ DeBonza highlights, and they were like, "I don't even see why it's a question of who's the number one pick." And I was like, I mean, I get that from the highlights, but did you watch them two play against each other?
Yeah,
And did you watch AJ not really matter anymore?
yeah. It
Like
was a
that was
blessing.
one. That's the craziest thing about Peterson is You watch him, and the best player on the other team is irrelevant, which is why he is perfect for Washington. Perfect.
Don't get me started, man.
Him
Maybe
and
keep it here.
Him and Ice Trey, man.
That's weird to think about.
Is that his nickname? Trey Cube? I don't know. Whatever his nickname
Trey cubed.
is. I don't know. I don't like that dude. Such
Yeah,
an
it
asshole.
was the going into the Kansas BYU game. That was the most hype I had been for a college basketball game. That's not March Madness, maybe in my life, and maybe even including March Madness. Because as I've said many times, when I watch college basketball, I come from an NBA fan's perspective, so I'm watching for the prospects and pretty much only for that reason. And these two guys I was very pumped about. And I was at that point, I had started to lean toward Peterson. I was on that, like, I see something special in this kid. I'm leaning towards Peterson, but I gotta see what happens here. Within about 45 seconds, it was like, yeah, there's a different level.
For the draft lottery, who do you think is the most surprising team to either fall out of the top 10 or get a lesser pick than what you expected? I mean, outside of the Pacers, I think everybody's going to say the Pacers. But outside of them, is there anybody else you saw that probably deserved a higher pick?
I want to, I'm gonna answer that question. But can we first pour one out for Indiana?
Yeah.
Can we real quick just say maybe not to the management, maybe not to the decision makers behind the trade, but to the fans. I'm so sorry. Y'all are this close to winning your first championship, and your star player pops his Achilles in the most devastating, heartbreaking fashion. An image I, as a non-Pacers fan, will never get out of my head of him banging the ground yelling. And then you have this terrible season from hell, and with the hopes that we're going to get a guy for our future to build around and to add to this team to compete for a championship and to have going forward, just to lose it over a trade where if you look back on it, it's like, hey, we didn't need Zubac this year. We could have waited to the offseason. We could have had the number five pick. Pretty sure the Clippers would have agreed to trade for the number five pick. Or y'all could have repositioned it. Like there's so much more maneuverability if we just held on to it and waited.
Yeah. I think we definitely probably need a moment of silence for all Pacers fans. Just a tough one.
And is there a chance Zubac had kind of a breakout year or two, and then this just isn't who he is the entire time?
Oh,
Like
for sure.
Jonas Valanciunas had a few years where he looked really good.
Yeah, but then didn't he go to New Orleans? So can't really
Fair.
hold can't hold that against him.
Yeah, that's fair. Once you start playing meaningless basketball, it's like, oh, well, do we
I
judge
mean, that's just really hurtful towards my teams, man.
him? Yeah, I just felt like we needed to pour one out for Indiana because that just, God, that sucks. The Zubac trade better work out, man. Like he better be awesome and better
Yeah, he
get
better
hurt
be.
again because he's always getting hurt.
Yeah, he better be Jokic 2.0.
Yeah, because it is weird though if they did get the number five pick, like who would they take? Because do they take Acuff if he falls to five? Because he's more than likely going to be available at five. Like, do you take Acuff? That didn't really make sense.
No, not really.
I honestly feel like you end up trading the pick anyway.
And you go get Giannis.
I don't know if he'd agree to play for the Pacers. There's a lot of beef there.
Who would agree to play for the Pacers anyway?
I don't know, man.
Dying to go to Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, Giannis is in Milwaukee. It's not like,
It's a lateral move. It's not any worse. It's not any better.
yeah. But outside of the Pacers, I really can't help but feel bad for the Nets and Kings. It's like we're bad for what? Like we're just always bad for what? Like what do we have to imagine being a Kings fan, bro?
I can't. I feel like that's more depressing than being a New Orleans fan.
Yeah, at least you had no hopes going into Sunday.
I just like why? You don't have to say it like that.
But
I had hope.
it is better. It's hope. I mean, like you're not going into it like there's a chance my life could forever change if we get to Bonsa or Peterson or Wilson. It's like my life can be changed forever as a sports fan. or I'm going to be depressed for the rest of my life thinking about this moment. You didn't have that. You're just kind of like, oh, let's see what happens to these teams.
Yeah, I was pretty much just rooting for pure chaos.
Yeah. So there's like a certain level of peace. I've I've compared it to this before, but I don't think since we've been actually posting the pods, being a New Orleans Pelican is like when you're drowning and you just come to that moment of realization, like, well, I'm gonna die, and people say it's like the most peaceful moment, like right before you drown. It's like there's a moment of euphoria where you realize all there's nothing I need to worry about. It's careless, and you can just ride the wave. That's what
That's
being
how I
is like.
that's how I feel like right before All Star break for the NBA. Because I know after February it's all fun for us.
Exactly. You just watch other teams be miserable.
Yeah, it's great. How do you feel about the Mavs having a top 10 pick sitting at 9?
Brainbury
Because
is
I
so perfect.
I know your boy is Nico, and obviously his trade's kind of worked out. Be able to pair Cooper Flag with another top 10 pick.
Well, I will say it's going to be kind of tough for me to continue to hate on the Mavericks. I said that I would as long as they have Patrick Dumont, and I plan to stand by that. But them getting Masai Ujiri, I like him quite a lot.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think there is a part of me that's kind of, I've always liked the Mavericks historically. I hated them in 2011 when they beat us, but my hate was aimed primarily at LeBron during that as a Heat fan. And I could do nothing but just respect Dirk and the crazy run that they went on. But I've always historically liked the Mavericks. Luca in Dallas was like watching a religious experience when I went to go see him live there. Um,
To be
so
honest, I legitimately used to think you were a Dallas Mavericks fan before I knew you were a Miami fan. I thought you were a Mavericks fan because of the way you used to talk about Dirk. I was like, oh well, he's a Mavs fan. That's cool. But you don't really meet too many of them outside of Texas, so that's cool.
yeah. Yeah, and I used to wear my Dallas hat a lot. I
Yep.
had a Dallas Mavericks hat that I used to wear a lot that had the Luca signature stitched on a goat. When he was like a rookie, I think I put that on there.
Golly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's forever ago. But I've always liked the Mavericks, so I think now them getting Ujiri and me just feeling for the fans, I'm able to kind of tap into that love for them again. But as long as Dumont's there, I'm not going to root for him. But they're in a great position to get somebody. They don't even, I mean, getting a top pick would have been a nice luxury for them, but they're in a position where they didn't really need it. They have Cooper, they have their guy they're going to build around. If they got another one of those guys, then they would have just had a dynamic duo and it would have accelerated their timeline. But having that number 9 pick, they're going to be able to get a guard that they need. There's going to be one of them available from Michael Brown, LeBaron Philon, or Braden Burries. One of those is going to be available there. So like it's just kind of take your pick on who's available and who you want, and they're going to be good for you.
Yeah, you don't think Wagler will fall down that far?
It's possible. I doubt it. I
I
bet
can
he'll go to the Nets or Kings.
I can see him going to Sacramento.
He seems like a king, man. It just
I
seems
hate I hate it for him, but I think he's a king.
it is interesting to think what the Nets are going to do there since they have so many guards, and that's really probably all that's going to be available for the range that people are looking at for that pick. Like, I don't see Acuff falling there. I mean, Acuff's more than likely going to be a Clipper.
Well, let me ask you this: you're pretty high on one guy. Would you take Mara at 6?
No.
You think 6 is too high? Yeah, I'm in like top 8 earlier.
Yeah. I think for me, there's a clear top six, and then there's a little bit of a dip. And that little bit of a dip is still a great player, but it's definitely Pearson, Devonsa, Wilson, Boozer, Acuff, and Flemings for me. Like those, if they're available, you're taking one of those guys. And then it's okay, now we start talking about other guys. And
Yeah.
that's when we get to like the Michael Brown, the Mara, Burries, those guys.
If Fleming falls to 8 to Atlanta, Atlanta fans better be damn excited.
If who does?
Fleming's.
Yeah.
If Kingston ends up at 8, I would love to see him in Atlanta.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense a lot. And you get a new guard without kind of repeating what you've had before. Because if they get somebody like Michael Brown Jr., you could see yourself having a little bit of like, ooh, because we had Trey. There's a similar play style there. Do we really want to kind of revert to that and commit to another like 7 years of that experience? Which Michael Brown, you could argue, even has a higher ceiling than Trey does. He's got way better size. He kind of has more of an all-around skill set. Um, but it's so similar when you watch it that it's like, I don't know if we want to go down that path again. Like Fleming's breaks the cycle. You get a good point guard that you need, and it's a completely different play style that fits your like grit and grind defense style because he's the
Yeah,
best defensive guard in the draft more than likely.
that's why I love Flemings right there to Atlanta, and them Atlanta fans would love it because they don't want another wing for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he falls past. I mean, there's a chance because I saw his combine measurements. It didn't look great. I mean, he was listed at 6'2" and a half, and his wingspan was only 6'4".
Ooh,
Yeah. So I could see him potentially falling. And if you just watch his highlights, it's not really the most impressive. Like if you watch his highlights and then watch Michael Brown or Keaton Wagler's highlights, it's kind of like, why is he this high? You have to really watch him and dive into his game to be able to appreciate everything he does, I think.
so Flemings got measured in at 6'2.5" without shoes, weighed in 183, and recorded a 6'3.5" wingspan.
Even worse.
Yeah, roughly with a 8 foot 8, 8 foot 2.5 standing reach.
It's not great.
No, it's not good at all. Measurements were roughly 1.5 inches shorter than his previous college listing.
Yeah.
It's not good for Kingston right there.
So there's a chance he could slip.
So if you're Memphis, who are you taking at three? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, that's the big debate because you have to assume that Peterson and DeBonce are off the board and it becomes a Wilson, Acuff, Boozer conversation. Me personally, give me Caleb Wilson, baby. He just seems like he'd be perfect for the Grizzlies too. Just God, that's just a perfect fit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
You're an Acuff guy though,
I'm taking Acuff, dude. I love Acuff.
figured.
I I understand why you take Wilson there, but he has potential to definitely be like a Kevin Garnett, Chris Bosh type player. But also the flip side is he could turn out to be an absolute flop. But that's the risk you have with everybody. So that's kind of like an irrelevant conversation. But if he ends up being KG or Chris Bosh or Jermaine O'Neal, you can live with that if you're Memphis.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't see how he could be a flop. I don't see how he could be a bust. I think early into my scouting of him, I was like, his floor is lower than Boozer, but his ceiling's way higher. But the more I watched him and the more I've gone back and watched even games or clips from games that didn't necessarily have a great game, it's hard for me to imagine he's not going to at the very least be impactful defensively. Like worst case scenario, you have an Evan Mobley type player, and
I
it's
mean, he
like,
doesn't.
is that I mean, that's pretty damn good.
I mean, he doesn't really kind of like remind you of the guy who played at UNC and Marvin Williams, highly athletic forward who struggled to create his own shot.
I don't think Caleb struggles with it though. He has a handle, he has post moves. Like, I don't know.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm as high on him as you are. I really like him. I
No,
just like Acuff better. Also, you're probably losing John Morant,
right. You have a guy to come in and immediately fill that role, and
that void.
I don't know,
And
man. I think Caleb Wilson is going to be a fan favorite the moment he steps on an NBA court. He's already people are coming across his highlight reel, and he has the best highlight reel probably in the draft. Like you just pull up his highlight reel, and it's like, holy shit! How is this guy not consensus number one? Especially if you're just now becoming aware of this draft class and just now realizing who's who and what they mean. Caleb Wilson If you just throw on his 3 minute tape, it's like this guy's the best player I've ever seen.
More so than AJ, because I think AJ's highlights pretty solid.
Caleb's is generational to me. Just his highlight reel.
Really?
Yeah,
Is high school highlight reel or is college one?
college.
College. I'll check it out. I haven't checked out his highlight reel from college yet.
Oh
It's
yeah,
tough for me to
I'll
watch
send
anything
you.
UFC.
There's like a 4 minute cut that's going around on Twitter right now for people who are unaware of him, and people are falling in love. And if you just watch that 4 minute tape, it's like, yeah, my God.
That game when he came out against Duke before he got hurt, man, it was like, oh shit, this kid's like good, good. Like I knew he was good heading into the Duke game. I just didn't realize he was as good as he is.
Yeah. Similar to what we were talking about with Peterson and DeBonsa. It's like going into that game, it's like, I can't wait to see these guys match up. And then you kind of forget AJ's in the game because you're so caught up watching Peterson. That's kind of how it was with Wilson and Boozer. It was like, wait, Boozer was playing that half, right? Because you're just so caught up on everything Wilson was doing.
Boozer to me, no matter what, is going to get to 20 points. They're not going to be exciting 20 points. They're not going to be what Caleb is. They're not going to be what Peterson or DeBonza is. They're going to be 20 on some real, real fundamental baskets.
Hmm.
Nothing is going to be crazy. I do think his game fits the NBA. There is a part of me because I really do value athleticism where I would consider taking Caleb over Boozer. And that hurts to say. But there's Caleb's got some interesting potential. Or we really could be talking like a generational type talent. Not that Boozer isn't. I still think Boozer's a generational talent. I just think Caleb might be a little bit more exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And if you're a team like Memphis, where you're also struggling to get people in to watch your games and go to your games, that's kind of where you got to weigh that out. Like, what's more important to you?
Yeah. That definitely plays a role. And I could see them too being a team potentially if the Wizards are like, hey, we're open to trading this pick going down a spot or two. And to put pressure on Utah is like, okay, if you're not going to give us two extra picks on top of it, Memphis is interested. Just throwing that out there. They would love to have Peters, or they would love to have DeBonsa. They're interested. I could see that being like a leverage play.
I
But for
kind
the
of hope
record, if
so.
I'm Washington, I'm just taking the guy I like. I'm not trading it. Just take the guy.
I'm not, dude. I don't understand ever trading the first round, the first overall pick.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's something just a little ridiculous, but like, I am not trading. I'm gonna take the guy I like, and the rest of y'all can go figure it out on your own. I'm not worried about y'all.
This is kind of a unique situation. If you are Peterson over DeBonsa, I'm trading with Utah. Because you know they're taking DeBonsa. There's no like crossing your fingers deal with it. You know they want DeBonsa, and they've made it clear they want him. They've made it clear for 2 years they want DeBonsa, so they're not going to switch up now.
I wonder if it's gonna be a little bit of a thing too, where they just kind of like AJ doesn't want to go to Washington anyway. So like, why even try to draft him?
Yeah, I will say if Washington doesn't trade the pick and takes Darren Peterson first, I'll call them kind of dumb because you could have gotten something. Even if it's not a big piece, you can get something to trade down one spot to take Peterson and give DeBonsa to Utah if that's who you want is Peterson.
I would love to see Washington just absolutely screw Utah in that way. Like absolutely just politician them into taking that first pick, but also collect yourself a couple draft picks, maybe I don't know, something else, get another piece.
Mhm. And Utah has picks to give away. So like throw in a couple picks, throw in a couple pick swaps if you just want to make yourself feel better. Like here, I'll give you this pick, you give me number two pick, give me another first round pick unprotected in a year or two, and then give me one or two pick swaps, call it a day.
I get what you're saying, but I just can't imagine if I'm Utah mortgaging my future on one person. Like I understand that like they're never gonna see like it's Utah. They're probably never gonna see another kid that absolutely wants to play for Utah. And that's fair. And I 100% understand it. I just can't imagine like I don't as a fan, if I was a Utah Jazz fan, I would not be excited about that.
I would. I
I don't think
understand it because, like, what y'all hoard these picks all the time, and this is the first time the Jazz have moved up, like ever, I think, or this is the first time they moved up in the draft in like 20 years or something from where they were projected to move up. So it's like, yeah, we could hold on these draft picks, but for what? We're not going to have an opportunity like this ever again. It's like I'll sacrifice losing a couple picks if we can get this guy, because the picks that we'll be sacrificing, we're going to be developing this kid anyway. So like.
you better hope it works, man.
I think it's a gamble you have to take. And I don't even think it's that crazy of a gamble. I cannot imagine him not working out. He seems kind of a surefire of a player. I'm not saying to the degree of Wemby. I don't think he has Wemby has greatest of all time ceiling. I don't think DeBonsa quite has that. I wouldn't project that at least. But I think it's kind of a similar sure thing. It's like if he's on an NBA team, he's gonna be awesome. Like just straight up.
And you're still taking Peterson over him.
I am. Because I feel the same way, but stronger for Peterson.
Fair enough.
Was there any other surprising thing? I mean, think glad
Um,
the Thunder didn't move up.
yeah, thank God the Thunder.
I had
I
a
mean,
moment because I had convinced myself, as you know, that the Heat had a chance to move into the top four. Like I was full conspiracy, Charlie Day, white chalkboard with it. We're gonna move up. It's gonna happen. And you're like, this is so funny. You're getting your hopes up, and you were right. Um, so I had a moment when they flipped over 13, so the Miami Heat. I was like, I was so distraught. And then I was like, wait, OKC's next. I better see OKC flip. Because if it flipped over and they said the Warriors instead of the Thunder, that'd have been it for me. I probably would just turned it off. Like, I don't even care anymore.
do you feel so? Did you see Khan's reaction to Charlotte's pick at 14?
Yeah, I think I saw he was kind of like, yeah, it is what it is. Like,
He just did not care. Everybody was getting him shit for it, and I was like, I don't feel like Khan is ever that excited though.
yeah. And I saw his quote on it. He said he was looking at the math on it and he wasn't expecting anything. I think he said he did like 50 different simulations on the ride to the event. And he said they didn't move up once in any of those 50 simulations. So he's like, nothing's going to happen. I'm here for
I
no
already,
reason.
yeah, I'm here for no reason.
Yeah. Which sucks, dude. That's such a weird. What else happens on draft lottery day? Because everybody's there, all these big prospects, all the agents and everything are there for that event. And it's a 30-minute televised event. It's like, so what else happens? Is it just a meet and greet, like mingle and
I would
social?
assume so. Get some, get some finger foods, maybe a little champagne, celebrate it, enjoy it. Especially if you're in that top five, top seven area.
I texted you, I did have my LeBron James, Kobe is going to score 81 points moment. As soon as they were going through everybody who's there to represent their team, and they showed John Wall with the Wizards, something in my gut, I got like a spider sense of like, it's something just, I feel something's gonna happen here. I got it immediately. And I told my brother-in-law, he was with me, I was like, oh, Wizards gonna win. He knows nothing about basketball. He didn't even know the Wizards were a team. He said the Wizards, that's stupid. That's a stupid name. I was like, yeah, but they're gonna win. And then they did.
Is that where your influence for rebranding for them comes from?
Kind of, I mean, a little bit. Wendy hates the Wizards too, just because of their name. It's not a name that you like gravitate towards. Their branding isn't even, it doesn't even play into the wizardness of it. Like,
Maybe Wendy's first Wendy minute can be what the Wizards should rebrand as.
I'll tell her to start prepping.
It's actually not bad, dude, especially with the first overall pick.
Yeah, I'll tell her to
That's,
start prepping.
yeah, it's a pretty solid one, dude.
Could even have her potentially like react to previous Wizards brandings and jerseys and stuff, have her pick which one she prefers.
Break out the gold Gilbert Arenas ones.
Yeah, the trash bag looking ones. Yeah, we
Bring
could
the
do like a bracket style.
bring the bullets back.
They never will, but
Those
Is
are
that
kind of
why
sick.
they changed the name? Just straight up because, like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have this.
I think so. Like, I don't think there's anything deeper than that.
I think it'd be cool if they just never did that, though. If they just said,
Yeah.
this is just us. And I know part of it was the Bullets was connected to Baltimore, and then they moved to Washington, and they kept the Bullets name for whatever reason. And then eventually they're just like, yeah, let's change it. Like, was there a scandal? It would have been pretty awesome if they never changed their name when the whole
And
game.
Gilbert Arenas still had the yes.
Because they would
The
have changed it then. That would have been like, all right, none of this. They probably would have moved from Washington too. Like, we got to rebrand all this. None of this. We can't have this associated with our
yeah.
history.
Seattle would have a team already.
Yeah.
Like a year later, a couple years later.
They would just swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you name Washington if they weren't the Wizards, though? Besides the Bullets, because it kind of does fit DC a little bit.
I don't know, man. But I just don't think who cares about the Wizards? I know Washington has a lot of basketball fans that have just been beaten into the ground and they have nothing to root for. I remember how crazy they were during the 2017 run with John Wall and them. Like they loved that team.
I
They're
got a,
dying to have a good team, but they just have nothing to hold on to.
I got a buddy who's from Virginia and lives up in Virginia, and he's a diehard Washington Wizards fan.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, dude, because there's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like it's just a weird thing when someone's like, "Oh yeah, my favorite team is the Wizards." You're like, "Why?"
Yeah.
Like
Unless
you
you're from
hate?
up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what happened to you as a child?
But I know they're passionate. The fans
Yeah,
that watch are great. You have to be. If you're gonna be
and
a
they're
watch,
they're smart basketball fans too. Like they know the game because there's so much good history in Washington for basketball.
yeah. Yeah, there's so much like pickup and there's so many roots deeply rooted in Washington and the Virginia area. Um,
There's some people who think that the DMV area is one of the best areas for all of basketball.
yeah, for creating talent for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more work on the draft. We're going to be doing more mock drafts, probably coming up pretty soon. We have one on the channel. Definitely go check that out. But we're going to be doing a lot of this deep dive on all the guys. If you're unfamiliar with some of the people in the draft, we're going to be doing deep dives and be telling you everything about it. We're going to continue. We're going to be talking about Darren Peterson, but we're probably going to be uploading that in a separate video. So for now, thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and definitely check out our video coming up about Darren Peterson.
I'll say this too. One thing before we go. Um, if since we have had some people comment on our videos and stuff, if you guys want to see any draft, we will do any draft.
Oh
Just
yeah,
let
let
us
us
know.
know.
Like we will do a mock draft in a heartbeat. Just let us know, like, hey, I want to see this. All right, bet we got y'all. It might be the worst thing you've ever seen. It might be the best thing you've ever seen, but we'll do it.
For sure. Just let us know. We're down.